Alright guys, welcome back to beautiful Tahiti County, Iowa. Today we are going to be getting into, well, I guess we're not getting into anything. We're going to a retirement sale for a neighbor. We went to the one that I used to work for. We went to his last year. This guy is just down the road. And I've known him for most of my life, and yeah. So we're going to that sale today. I'm not gonna try and buy anything off the sale. I just want to see how everything goes, and I want to see how the guy is doing and everything, and just talk with everyone. It's usually it's kind of a sad thing when a guy retires, but it usually brings a lot of people together, and it's a chance to talk to people that sometimes you haven't seen in a long time, or sometimes that um, don't get to talk to all the time. But yeah. So with that though, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna head over there and we're gonna do our normal auction style stuff. I'll give you a little tour of all the equipment, and yeah. So with that though, I will say if you guys like this content, do me a huge favor. Leave that like down below. Let me know that you guys like it, and we will make sure to put it into more episodes going forward as we get into FS25 full time. As well as then make sure you're subscribed so you can follow along, because I know how the YouTube algorithm works sometimes, and it doesn't. If you're just stumbling upon this for the first time, there's a fair chance you won't be able to see any more of my videos unless you either like it or subscribe. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into it, and I hope you enjoy. All right, guys. So I'm just getting here. The neighbors are letting us park in the grass field across the road, so we're gonna wander down here. Start to look at equipment. They got a nice shed over here, shop, and then what do you barns? I don't know if that's what you call it, because it's not really the normal hoop style barn, but it's the canvas style. It's got a bunch of bulk bins he used to have. He used to do some bean stuff or seed cleaning and seed stuff. So he would bring the beans in and be able to treat it himself. But yeah, so here's all his bins. That's his house over there. But yeah, here is the equipment lineup. I'm just gonna go through, look at everything quick, and make sure I know everything before I talk to you guys. But well, I'll be right back, basically. All right. So I just went through, made sure everything I knew what was here, um, and yeah. So this guy farmed alone, so a lot of this stuff is gonna look like that. You can kind of tell that farmed alone, but didn't really share much equipment. Kind of had to do everything on his own. But that's kind of usually how it is sometimes with farmers. If you don't know the right people at the right time, you don't. Some things just don't work out, and yeah. Anyways, you guys don't care about that. Let's get into the equipment he had. I believe this AGI Westfield auger isn't that old. I believe, yeah, 94 foot, 13-inch auger. Yeah. This one is like a year or two old. A little, basically to unload the bins auger. I forget they call it something specific, but yeah, it just unloads the bin. Yeah, so X44 AGI as well. So yeah, we'll just go back and forth because there's just a bunch of wagons. We got a case. What are they? 335, if I remember. Yeah, 335 vertical tillage disc. He had another one, but must have sold it. The other one did a little bit deeper tillage than this vertical tillage one, but yeah, not many hours on it if I remember right. But yeah, he's got a case 2140, yeah, or 2150. Sorry, 12-row planter like mine that I used to have, if you remember, except for he doesn't have any fertilizer system on it, but got row markers. So it's basically like the one that I used to have, even though now I have a 6. We got a Best Way 1200 sprayer here. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Brent 66 or 644 wagons, or maybe there's 6. Oh, yep, there's 6. I don't know how to do math, but like I said, he used to farm basically on his own, so he would fill up all the wagons before he has to start taking it down. Yeah, so this basically let him put 1,000 bushels of storage out in the field, or 1,000, 3,000 bushels of storage out in the field, and then he wouldn't have to worry about going to dump for a little while or anything like that. And he could eventually bring it all into the bins. All right, so next up we got a Case Tigermate 200 here. It's got both the harrow and the rolling basket, or not, yeah, whatever you guys call these pine levelers, whatever you call them, that cultivator. I think this also doesn't have many hours on it. I think these two were bought the same year, but yeah. Next up, he has a Case. Let's see if I can see the number 3 something. It looked like 3050. I'm guessing that means it's a 30-foot head, which means it would be able to take one swath of his 12-row 30-inch planter. An auger head. I believe it's not terribly old. I think both of these heads aren't terribly old, even though his combine's a little bit older. I think his corn head was an older metal framed one, and it had a couple holes worn into it, so finally had to replace it. And then he said, "Well, I might as well just get a new bean head one at 2." So yeah, he's a big Case guy if you can't tell. Got an 8-row cornhead, which is kind of weird, but don't like I said, I don't think it's that old. Looking at it, maybe 3 or 4, 5 years old. But yeah. Next up, he's got an original 986. This used to be his big horsepower tractor, is what he used to say. But actually, I think the weight bracket actually broke at one point. He said, which was actually convenient timing because then he bought this 310 Magnum. Well, he had another like a 1486 or 1286 or 1086 or something like that. I forget. But yeah, about that time that 12 or that 1086 or whatever else he had broke down. Yeah, went out and bought that Magnum, that 310 Magnum there, and had this 986 mainly as his auger tractor now, and sometimes it would pull some loads out of the field as well, but not very often because it doesn't have much horsepower. Because right next to that, this 135 Maxim does have a little bit more horsepower. I think this is almost a brand new tractor, if I remember hearing him right. Um, like 2 years old at most. And he actually sold the loader. I did hear that earlier today that he had sold the loader and stuff for this already to another neighbor who offered him a good price, and they're pretty good friends, anyways. I think so. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll go to the Magnum since I already talked about it a little bit. I believe this is a 2010 Magnum off the top of my head, but do not quote me on that. I think he said it has about 1,000, 1,200, maybe 1,200 hours. Yeah. So next up is his 2588 with duals. Believe this combine is exactly 20 years old, if I remember right. It has 5,538 separator hours and 4,278 engine or separator hours, and the first one was engine hours. Sorry, was reading it wrong. Definitely took that from our actual combine life. That was the number that I saw this year. That's why I came up with those numbers that way. But yeah, so that's all of his equipment. I'll kind of show you over here. Actually, you know what? I'll just pull it up on my tablet quick. Alrighty, guys. So I pulled up my tablet here. So this guy actually farms 125 here, 124. Yeah, one of his neighbors actually owns this grass slot here. There's some bins, couple hog barns right in between here. But he farmed 124, 125, 127 back here, and 126, and then there's a grass field right here that he also farms as well. But yeah, he farmed all of this on his own and continued to make it work. The only reason I think he was retiring, from my understanding, was because him and his wife wanted to travel a little bit before he. I think he's not in the greatest of health, so I think they wanted to travel a little bit more, and get out and see things before things would turn worse if they were to. Um, but yeah, I think he wants the opportunity to be able to see some things. So yeah, we're not going to go for any of the land, like I said in previous episodes, but yeah, we're kind of maxed out right at the moment what we got. So yeah, but yeah, with that though, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna buy anything here, but if I were to, I'll come back and talk to you guys after the auction. I'll probably just come back and talk to you guys after the auction. Just say how it went. Yeah, maybe show you guys some stuff around the farm. I don't know what else I'd have to show you. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys. So I got back from the auction a little bit ago. I was actually working on my computer doing some bookwork stuff. Didn't end up buying anything. Like I said, I didn't really need to buy anything. I do need to clean up my yard a little bit. But yeah, so the auction went really well for that guy. I think he made out pretty good on all of the stuff. The combine went for about 30,000, which was a little bit more than I thought it was going to go for. I think the same guy bought the combine in the heads. So I think that after selling everything, I think he made about 60,000 on that combine, which is about a little bit more than honestly I thought he would have made. But yeah, so I'm glad he did well on that and did well on everything. He takes good care. He has taken good care of all of his equipment and deserved to do well on everything there. And I'm glad he did. But yeah, uh, I guess I don't really have anything else for this episode. It was kind of a shorter episode. It was just kind of like a bonus episode that I wanted to throw in here. Um, since it is the day after. Hang on, hang on. Well, it's not. It's the weekend after. I was just double checking my dates. It is the weekend after Christmas. Um, I wanted to make sure I had some good. Well, I wanted to make sure I had enough episodes here. So after Christmas, so I wanted to make sure that yeah, yeah. So I know this is a little bit shorter. I'm sorry about that, but it is content that I wanted to put out. I know it's probably not the most quality content, but this stuff I kind of like doing. Kind of shows you other sides of farming that some people don't get to show. But yeah, with that though, that'll be the end of this episode. If you guys did do me a huge favor, leave that like down below. Let me know that you guys like this content so we can continue in FS25. Also, subscribe, follow along. It's free. It doesn't cost you, or obviously doesn't cost you anything then, and it helps me out to make sure I can continue to grow and I can keep making better and better content for you going into the future. So, with that, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all your guys' support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!